Sounds so good, don't you agree? You're listening to C Flips, He Flips. I'm Curtis R. Monday.
Good morning. I'm E.J. Williams.
Call us right now in the studio, 312-374-8130. That's 312-374-8130. Sounds so good, don't you agree? People on Facebook Live, y'all caught the behind the scenes, my mad dash into the studio to see my girl.
Tardy to the party.
That's right, man. They wouldn't let me be great, but we still here. E. Jizzle back in the building.
Hello. Did you miss me?
We missed you. We missed you last week, EJ.
Yeah.
You was gracing an organization with your presence. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, I was the guest speaker for Girl Be You last week. It's a platform, a young lady, Janice Miller. She's actually a mentee of mine.
Okay.
Probably for the last 8 years or so. She started this platform where she's really pouring into women. And the topic last week was You Belong Here.
Okay.
So we talked a lot about, women and owning our presence, owning our purpose, and, going for our legacy. So it was a really good time.
Absolutely. We appreciate you. The show is called C Flips, He Flips. We have 3 primary goals here on C Flips, He Flips. Number 1, you heard that? You heard double?
I did.
I'm tripping. Anyway, first primary goal, 1, create an inspirational blueprint for those interested in real estate. That's very important to EJ and I. 2, create generational wealth for our community. Want to flip the script economically in our respective communities. And then thirdly, be a source of education, provide resources, teach them how to fish. And so we're going to get right into it. We got a special guest today, 21-year real estate investor, Mr. James Morris is going to be here with us, going to talk about this buy and hold strategy. EJ, for individuals who want to reach you and do business with you, where can they find you?
They can find me. You can call me 773-340-9101. You can email me at ej@buildingherlegacy.com on social media. I'm ultimate_EJ and building her legacy now. Absolutely.
For all your insurance needs, you can reach the Curtis R. Monday Insurance Agency. Just call my office, 708-647-1005. To set up one-on-one business and real estate strategy coaching sessions, I want you to visit www.curtisrmonday.com. That's www.curtisrmonday.com. So many people have been, reaching out, trying to get their plan in order for the new year. EJ, you taking on any new mentees, or you at capacity?
No, I can take on some new mentees. Those who are looking to invest in real estate, I can help you with that. Also, to serve your real estate needs as far as a real estate broker. So if you're looking to buy, sell, or invest, hit me up.
Absolutely. EJ, back in, pre-2008, you got into business 2006?
Correct.
Okay. So pre-2008, everybody and their mother was flipping.
Yeah, it's crazy.
You go to the barbershop, everybody a real estate investor. What you do? I real estate investor. Everybody was flipping. And even now you've seen this trend back towards flipping. You got flipping shows on HGTV and things of that nature.
Yep.
But no one really talks about what I call like the other brother, the other half brother, like the other sibling, right?
Right.
I mean, the buy and hold strategy,
yeah.
right? Why do you think people are so enthralled with flipping versus buy and hold?
I'm not sure. I think the flipping is just a little bit more glamorous.
Yeah.
And especially like you said with the television shows that came out following someone's journey to turning something, a mess into something, beautiful, and the big windfall at the end if you're good enough to do it. But I think that's part of it. I think people look for that big windfall, that big check at the end of that particular project is a little bit more enticing.
I'm laughing because it obviously a person who thinks that it's glamorous has never done a flip.
Never done a flip.
I know it all comes together on TV. With the little
30
white
minutes.
Guy and the little white,
and edited really is like 18 minutes.
Right, and it's always a plus. They never take a L. It's always a hot dub at the end. Like, hey, we made $97,000 with this flip. Yada yada yada. However, though, and when James gets on the mic, he could attest to this. Always two sides of your real estate portfolio.
Right.
Your active side,
is
right?
The flipping.
Exactly, and then your passive side, right? But it's funny though. I know that the flipping is glamorous. I know you can, quote unquote, get the quick, fast money. You're the queen of the 50K flip. With that being said, though, when you start to when you expand the conversation and start talking about building wealth, generational wealth, money to help for retirement, when you in real estate, that really speaks to more on the passive income side with the buy and hold strategy.
Right.
So it was funny when we did in 2008, well, right before the market dropped. I'm not a flipper. I can do it, but that's not my strong point. I'm a numbers guy. I like the passive income, right?
Right, that mailbox money.
There you go. There you go.
Love.
I just want to go to the mailbox, open it up, or go to my Zelle. My Zelle emails me and say, "Hey, you've received your rent."
Yes.
It is a good day.
CHA Section 8 checks.
But yeah, I mean, and you know, introduce him. You can join the conversation. You know, 21-year vet right now, James Morris. James, when we talk about, you know, from a lot of our training, you know, they always give the stat that says that if you could create your passive income to be 3-4 times the amount of your expenses, then you've achieved some level of financial freedom. How come you think, you know, in your opinion, why isn't the passive income, the buy and hold strategy in real estate as aggressively marketed as the flipping?
I think it's the mindset. And you think about generational wealth. A lot of African Americans didn't inherit money.
Sure.
So they don't understand buy until you die, meaning that you see a lot of sellers selling off when they retire.
Sure.
And you're trying to snatch it up. But if you're thinking about the next generation, then you're buying all the way up until you die.
That's right.
And you're putting your trust in place, and you're putting your will in place so you can pass down that property, and then it's constantly just paying forward to the next generation so that they can strive and have a better life.
Absolutely.
It's not cashing out and just thinking about yourself and taking your money with you to the grave.
Gotcha. Right. Makes good sense. EJ, your first property, was it a flip or a buy and hold?
It was a flip.
Yep.
In 2006. That's when we started flipping. Yeah. And then over time, we started buying and holding.
How many deals were you in before you did your first buy and hold?
We were doing a lot of flipping. So probably about 4.
4 deals?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. My very first deal was a buy and hold. It was a multi-unit. It was like a 3-flat. Again, just knew, I didn't know a lot. I just knew that if I bought this place at this price, it had this mortgage, and I could rent it out at this price. And when it was all said and done, it'll give me $300-$500. I mean, it made simple math. Like, it's a lot more now. I mean, through God's grace, I'm like, damn, how did I dodged the bullet. Yeah. But sometimes it's really that simple. What flipped the script with you when you to make the switch?
We knew that was something we always just wanted to do. But sometimes, you know, when you get those deals that was coming along for us, you know, 2006, 2007, and 8, it was just hot, you know. Yeah. And that was our capacity at that point. But to your point, you know, and to James' point, you start thinking long term, you know, and buying and holding is the best strategy for that.
James, your first deal, buy and hold?
Buy and hold, it was a 4-unit.
Your first one was a 4-unit.
4-unit. Wow. And I always tell people your first buy, you maximize it.
Yes.
Your FHA loan, you can buy between single family and 4 units.
That's true.
I'm coming out the gate 4 units.
Wow.
Yep. I tell people that too. That's great. Yeah. To hear that you actually did that.
I hope my mortgage people not listening. I still have the original loan that I did, like on my very first, like it was FHA. I think it was 3-5% down, something like that. But it was I was going to tell them I was going to live there. We're not talking about that on air. But yeah, same thing. So again, when you start talking about this and you start to look at it, the buy and hold strategy is a great way to create wealth in real estate and to create that generational wealth.
But I think it also has, for some people when they choose not to do it, it has a negative stigma to it. How many times do you hear people say, I don't want to be a landlord?
Yeah.
Because you think about all the drama and the issues that comes with
being a landlord. And when you get into further conversation with James with his Landlord Chronicles, we can talk about and share some of his horror stories, and pretty sure we can trade notes. But here's the thing: when I hear that, James and EJ, you name me one thing in life that doesn't come with something.
Man.
I mean, even if you move, like I was trying to think about, okay, people complain about Chicago as well. It's too cold. We'll move somewhere hot. I'm trying to think about one place hot that don't have an issue. You go to California, you got earthquakes.
Yeah.
You go to Florida, they got hurricanes. Like, name one. I can't think of just anything in life that doesn't have right. It's going to be something, right? So get off that, you know. And again, we'll get into those conversations. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, more conversation with EJ Williams and Curtis R. Monday, and I guess James Morris. We're going to get into the top 10 reasons to buy and hold real estate. We're going to talk to James a little bit more about some of his background and give some tips to individuals thinking about getting into real estate with the buy and hold strategy. Listen to Curtis R. Monday.
I'm EJ Williams.
Here on She Flips, He Flips. We'll be right back. Curtis R. Monday.
And I'm EJ Williams.
Give us a call, 312-374-8130. EJ, where can people find you?
They can find me by calling me. Pick up the phone, 312-340-9101. If you're on Instagram, I'm ultimate_EJ. And then I also have Building Her Legacy now. Email me, EJ@buildingherlegacy.com.
Absolutely. You want some one-on-one business and real estate strategy coaching? Go out to my website, www.curtisrmonday. That's www.curtisrmonday.com. 21-year real estate investor, buy and hold strategy guy. I mean, when EJ and I were talking, we were laughing. We were trying to think, like, who do we know who can talk about this topic? And we both said the same thing. Like, the first thing that came to mind, Mr. James Morris. Thank you, James. Good morning to you, brother.
Good morning. Good morning.
We want to talk about some reasons why people should adopt a buy and hold strategy for real estate. And we throw them out there and let's this conversation go organically. First one is appreciation, property appreciation. Despite like real estate crashes in the market doing what it does, real estate tends to be one of those few assets, right, that still will go up over time, right?
Exactly.
So good reason for individuals to buy. I think that kind of goes like unnoticed. You know, people talk about it being a down market. Okay, well, when the recession hit in 2008, it just depends upon your perspective. From a buy hold strategy point of view, I didn't miss a beat.
No, because people still need a place to live.
People need a place to live.
And guess what? So all these people who are losing their homes, they're going into apartments and leases and rentals. So
yeah.
I mean,
I didn't miss a I knew something was going on in the market. I knew it was bad, but that was I didn't miss a beat. And I think inherently, when you think about it, just the nature of how the asset works, you got a market that's going to create appreciation or it being worth more just naturally. It may not be as robust as 20% increase, but you can pretty much know that your piece of real estate is going to go up, maybe 5% in value each and every single year.
Yep.
And even if you took the market out of it, if it has a mortgage on it, you have a tenant living in there, just the very nature of the tenant living in there paying your mortgage for you means that, you're going to earn some level of appreciation on the asset. So, hey, that's one thing. 2, passive income. James, passive income. What do we hear that term a lot? What is passive income?
Passive income, the way you want to think about it is the income with benefits, meaning that if you have a W-2 job and you earn $100, you're paying $100 on taxes. Mm-hmm. Passive income, I may earn $100, but all my write-offs. Me coming to this station, I'm writing off the mileage. We go chop it up and eat lunch, I'm going to write that business expense off. So at the end of the day,
see, I like to eat.
I told you. Y'all thought I was playing.
Yep, but it's that money that's working for you, and it's working for you even when you're not there.
Right. EJ, anything to add to that?
I mean, I think he hit it on the nail. It's not like flipping. So you passive and active. Active, I'm on the job site every day. Passive, he's sitting and waiting for his rent money to be collected. So that's what that's the difference.
The key emphasis is on the word passive. Like it's something that's supposed to be like a hands-off type thing. Like if you invest in a stock, right, and that stock appreciates or earns appreciates in value, and you earn more money on it. You're not actively out there managing that stock. It's kind of doing this thing, and and so I've heard the definition of passive income in real estate, meaning a piece of real estate that you're spending 15 hours or less in a given year actively managing. But you can only do that if you have things in place like property management companies and good systems and things like that. But the whole idea is that you're not hands-on like what we see with the flips. And so another good reason with passive income, with the real estate buy and hold strategy, passive income, you can kind of do it as a supplement to what you're doing already with your 9 to 5. High leverage. Corey Singleton talked about this on last week about high leverage. People don't really understand what high leverage. EJ, break it down for us. When we use the term leverage, and James, feel free to jump in, what are we talking about?
I mean, you can leverage your properties to do pretty much anything. I won't say pretty much anything, but you have property. Say you want to go out and get a loan. You can borrow against what you have. So that's the difference with real estate. Right.
Anything to add, James?
Yeah, definitely. I tell people all the time, the tenants are paying down the mortgage, and then once the mortgage get paid down, you have enough equity in there, you refinance the property, you go buy a next property. You keep repeating the process. You want to keep the debt high. So when I'm teaching and coaching people, I'm telling them it's a difference between good debt and bad debt.
Right.
Good debt all day, because that good debt is buying assets, and it's going to fulfill my livelihood.
Yeah, yeah. Now, when I think of leverage, I think about whether I'm going to use my own money or whether I'm going to use other people's money, i.e. the bank, right? And I've always been a proponent that it's better to use somebody else's money. And so the good example that, of this, like imagine again this whole notion of walking into a bank, and let's just say you were asking for an $80,000 line of credit, right? And you said, hey, you know what? I need an $80,000 line of credit, but I'm going to let you put a lien or put $200,000 of my own cash in order to allow me to have an $80,000 line of credit for the sole purpose of going and investing in other stocks and mutual funds and things of that nature. They'll probably laugh at you.
Right.
But you went in that same bank and said, you know what? I need a loan for $100,000 with the purpose of trying to buy 10 properties, right? Then they're probably going to say, okay, let me draw up the paperwork and see what's what. So again, leveraging. And I think people get really scared about acquiring debt. Like, I think that we really looked at this whole notion of debt as in the wrong way.
Right.
All debt.
It's not bad.
It's not bad debt.
Right.
But we're conditioned to think that, oh my God, debt is bad. I don't want. Like, I was talking to my dad. My dad has good credit, 700 plus credit score. He got like a solicitation in the mail, and they were offering him a credit card with some like $25,000 line of credit or $25,000 limit on the card. He goes, oh, I don't want. I'm gonna tear this up. Why?
Yeah, but that generation, they're cash and carry.
Okay,
that's just their mentality,
yeah.
And it's our generation and the millennials, that are learning how to leverage debt.
Yeah. I'm like, you better get that money, man. Look, man, I'm gonna sign your name, and we got the same name. I'll handle it. You just like you need, if for nothing else, functionally, if something goes wrong. A furnace goes out, a roof starts to leak, something unexpected goes on, you need access to that. But in real estate, by leveraging, you can increase your portfolio. If you tried to buy, how many units you at right now, James?
38.
Okay, 38 units. If James literally tried to buy 38 units with his own the cash he got, that cash he has, right? Versus at some point in time using the bank's money to do the same thing, he can get to that destination or to that end result a lot quicker.
Way quicker.
Yeah. And so again, you're trying to grow your real estate portfolio, the leverage, it makes sense. Number 4, this is a good one, high ROI. That's how James, ROI, return on investment. People hear that. What does that mean?
Man, so after you pay all of your expenses,
right,
you want to look at your net. And a lot of times when people are talking, hey, I'm grossing $3,000 per building, and they thinking it's $3,000, and I'm asking about your expenses. I'm asking about your holding costs, and then we dwindle down and be like, you're not really making $3,000.
Right.
So my return on investment is after all expenses, what I'm putting in my pocket.
Yeah.
And still you're thinking about factoring in your reserves, factoring in your property manager. A lot of things that people don't factor in, and they buy it and they buy wrong.
Right.
So then when the market crashed, everyone lost because your numbers were wrong.
Yeah.
Didn't faze me at all.
Yeah.
My numbers were right on point.
Yeah. EJ.
I don't really have anything to add to that.
Yeah.
I mean, that's really what it is. And I mean, and numbers is everything.
Mm-hmm.
Say men lie, women lie, numbers don't lie.
Numbers don't lie.
That's the thing when people are analyzing deals, you have to factor into all of those expenses, your maintenance and all of that. It's just not, my mortgage on this building is $1,800 and my rent, I'm getting $2,500 in rent. You're not clearing $700.
Right.
You know, so people have to really take into account the expenses and make sure that you're protecting, you padding, you have that room.
Gotcha.
Now, to make that money.
Easy example about return on investment. EJ, you married. Jason, got Jason. Shout out to Jason. What's up, bro? Jason.
He's in Miami.
Okay. How many dates did you and Jason go on before you became exclusive?
That's a good question. You know what? We were when we met, both of us were in between jobs, so we spent a lot of time together.
Just
so I
two
think
broke,
we just
two broke, unemployed. We got
it was summertime,
drink our miseries
so we
together, like we just broke together.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I can't even say because we were. It's just kind of instant. We started hanging out like all the time. Yeah.
All right.
And he realized he had a good thing, so he wasn't letting me go.
Okay. Good point. He realized he had a good thing, right? At a certain point in his courting process, right? He recognized that the time he was spending on you, right, was worth it. Like the outcome was worth it.
Yeah.
So what he was putting into you, he recognized that he was going to get that back and then some on the back end.
Yeah.
So all the ROI is in English is just
This
the
example
money
is just crazy.
I'm waiting for them connected.
You know, man. Sometimes you just have to bring it to what people. So all you basically saying is that the money or resources you put in something, what type of return is it bringing you?
Right.
Is it worth it? Right. When you analyze deal, buy, hold, or even a flip, is it worth it?
Right.
Sometimes you reach people who see people when they do a flip, they'll say, "Hey, you know what? I'll make $30,000 on this flip." Right.
No.
But the ROI might be 4%.
Right.
It's telling you that what you're putting into this endeavor is not worth the outcome on the back end.
Mm-hmm.
And that's all ROI is. It's telling you, it's a number that they're telling you, is it worth me doing this thing? Because if it is, cool. If it's not, move on, because time is not just money. Time is everything.
Mm-hmm.
You said this earlier, James. Number 5, principal pay down rather.
Mm-hmm.
Another benefit of buy and hold, principal pay down. What do we mean by that?
Principal pay down. You have your mortgage and interest. If you finance through a bank, your tenants are going to be paying you rent.
Yeah.
And you're going to be paying it down. As long as you have 20% equity, 80% equity into a property, a bank will let you refi.
Right.
So you want to get it down low. Then once the market, you may get some appreciation. If the market goes up, you want to refi, you want to take that cash, and you want to find something else.
Yep.
You mentioned credit cards. I tell people all the time, get the credit cards. Every quarter, I'm requesting my increases, even though I'm not using it.
Yeah.
It's doing two things. It's bringing my debt-to-income ratio down because now I have more availability, and it's also giving me that line. So then when I have that 0% check, if I see something I need to act fast, I write a check. I got 12 months, 0%.
Yeah.
I'm in a deal.
Yeah. That principal pay down is the homeboy hookup right there. You got something that somebody else is paying down for you, and it's making your paper position stronger, right? So if you try to go to a bank, a lending institution to try to get more leverage, it's making your position look stronger.
Yes.
And so it just makes perfect sense. And you don't quite get that in the flip scenario because the transaction isn't conducive for that. But with the buy hold, it makes total sense. Tax benefits, EJ.
So with that, you can deduct. That's a big thing. Like James was saying, his mileage here when he takes us to lunch, after this radio show. He's deducted that. Depreciation.
Yeah.
So all of those things, and then you can roll your what you're making into another project. Do a 1031 exchange as well. So
as you start making more money, right? The Alphabet Boys coming to get that bread.
Yes.
They coming to get it. IRS, that's the Alphabet Boys, right? Y'all know the Alphabet Boys. The Alphabet Boys coming to get that bread. So you got to take advantage and be strategic, just like James said, of any and every way that that you can in order to reduce your taxable base, to be able to help stop the IRS from taxing you more on your assets.
Right.
Filing taxes is really it's a personal, like you can be as aggressive as the person who's actually on the other end. I mean, I got guys who do some aggressive things, and I'm like, you getting locked up for that one. Man. You getting locked up for that one.
you just have to get you a really good accountant.
Yeah. That matches your risk tolerance. It's like investing. Like you got, I'm probably in the middle of the road. I don't want the Alphabet Boys, EJ, and
I want that smoke.
Right. I don't really want them come knocking on my door. I'm already a black man in America. I got police issues I got to worry about when I'm driving. I got enough on my head, man. I don't need the Alphabet. So I pay just to be, okay. Never
Stay off their radar.
There you go. Right. 7, hedge against inflation. Right. So buy and hold helps to hedge against inflation, meaning that, look, as the cost of things goes up, a lot of times you have less money or less purchasing power. But with buy and hold strategies, when things go up, hell, you can move your investment up to go up accordingly. So that makes perfect sense. This is a good one, EJ. Number 8, increasing rents. Right. People don't think about that one. Buy and hold, you can increase your rents.
Right. I mean, when have you ever seen rent go down?
Never.
Right.
It's never going down. It can stabilize for a while, but it's never going to go down.
Right.
So, I mean, while your rents are going up, you're paying down your mortgage. So then there's more profitability there.
Right.
So it's a no-brainer.
How do you, James, buy and hold strategy, how do you determine when is a good time to raise your rents?
A good time is annual.
Okay.
So when people move in, I give them an option to sign a longer lease. If you don't sign a longer lease, I'm guaranteeing you we're going up anywhere from 3 to 5%.
Okay.
However, I'm not afraid to raise the rent. I tie it to the expenses. When my taxes go up, insurance go up, water increases,
Right.
I share it out across the apartments and I spread it past to the tenants.
Yeah, makes sense.
You know, same thing if the market crash and homes are going into foreclosures. I know stock is low.
Right.
Everyone needs an apartment. My rents go up.
Right.
So anytime we
the demand
crash,
has gone up.
yeah, bring on this recession.
Yeah.
Because Morris Mansion is about to increase all rent.
Love it.
Number 9 reason to buy and hold properties, buy and hold strategy, retirement income.
Yeah.
That was my my enticement. That was my, the thing that got me initially, because I'm, dollars and cents, money guy. That was the thing that got me. I wanted something that could help with my retirement income. So the way I looked at my properties early on was that if you could give me $300 or $400 right now in the short term, I'll take it. But what I really was interested is that when the mortgages are paid off from 20, 30 years, hopefully I should be entering retirement. And now it's just pure profit, 100%. And because I wasn't counting on Social Security being there for my generation, right? And so I wanted this to be able to supplement my retirement income. So, that one, retirement income is a big one. You can use it also for college education, is what we do.
Right.
For Chance the baby. What's up, son? Last one, creative exits. Creative exits. Buy and hold strategies allow for creative exits. EJ, elaborate on that one for me.
Well, you can own a property for 1 month. You can own it for 50 years. It just depends on what you need it for. Right. So you don't have to hold on to real estate forever.
Yeah.
Like to your point, if you need to unload it because a kid is going to college and didn't quite get that scholarship, well, there you go.
Yeah.
I know a young lady who is, she has 3 kids and they're all under the age of 10. And her goal is every 18 months she wants to buy investment property. And she's putting her kids, name on it. And she said this is their college fund. Yeah, she's doing some other, self-directed IRA and things like that. But that's her strategy, and I think that is phenomenal.
Yeah. When you're doing a flip, especially if you got investors, I always got some form of investor, whether it's the mortgage company who to give you construction draw loan or a private money lender. That's down the road, y'all. But you got some kind of investor. You have the pressure, right, of getting out that transaction sooner than later, right? You don't have the luxury to be able to time your exit. Right. You got to look, I got the money, I got to do this deal, renovate it, get out of it 3-4 months, hopefully. But when you got a buy and hold strategy, you do have the luxury to kind of sit back, right, look at market conditions, decide when is a good time for you to do your thing. And so, great information. Corey, Titus, let's take a quick break and come back. Want to pick James Moore's brain a little bit more. Curtis R. Monday.
I'm EJ Williams.
C Flips, He Flips. We'll be right back. Welcome back to C Flips, He Flips with Curtis R. Monday. And that's EJ Williams playing on the phone.
I had questions on Facebook Live.
Still that plan. Over there trying to make lunch dates. I'm telling y'all, EJ greedy, y'all. I guess has 21 years of experience investing in residential and commercial real estate, fix and flip, rehabs, and property management. He's the owner of Mortgage Management and Landlord Chronicles, the one and only James Morris. Good morning to you, James.
Good morning, brother. Thanks for having me.
All right, man. We want to be able to throw some topics out at you and let our listening audience get your vast array of knowledge. EJ, go ahead with the first question.
So, what is house hacking? That's a popular term thrown out now.
Right.
What is it?
House hacking. When you purchase a property, primarily a multifamily building, and you're going to live in one of the units, and you're going to allow the other units to pay your mortgage. So as we know, FHA loans, you're supposed to live in a property, and that allows you to come in with 3% or 3.5%. If it's a 4-unit, they may ask you to put 5%. But your goal is to invest with as little as possible, but then you want to maximize, as we discussed, your return on investment. And some people have different levels. For me, $350 a door. As you get into some of the larger ones, then it's $500 a door. It's not worth my time.
In terms of the rent?
Right.
Okay, gotcha. House hacking, is it a one-and-done strategy? Or can you do it? Is it a way to do it across multiple properties?
You can do it across multiple properties as long as you're going to live in it.
Right.
The problem with it is the first purchase, your first-time home buyer.
Yeah.
If you sell it, then you wait 3 years, and then you can qualify again for a first-time home buyer. And that opens up that ability to apply for those grants. And that's something we probably should discuss, the first-time home buyer grant. A lot of people don't get into real estate because they think they need to have cash. And I'm telling you, you don't need to have cash. You got a first-time home buyer grant. You're going to get the security deposits. You're going to get a proration of the rent. You're going to get the taxes. And then you can leverage your credit cards, your retirement accounts, your savings, or borrow some money and pay some. I don't care what interest rate you got to pay someone. If the numbers work, borrow the money.
Borrow the money. James, tell us, how do you invest in real estate rental properties?
How do I invest? I bought my first property in 2002. It was a 4-unit. It was 4 unit for $180,000. Still have it. The property's been great for me. 6 months later, home equity loan, 100,000 line of credit. Took that 100,000 line of credit, bought a 10-unit. Saw another deal, had my credit cards that I said, 31,000 on the credit card, 0% interest, 12 months, got into that property. So for me, I'll find a property, I'm gonna find the money.
Yeah.
You know, some people trying to find the money first, and I'm like, you got money, but you can't find a property.
Yeah, right. yeah.
You're approaching it backwards.
If the deal is good, the money will come.
Yes,
right?
it
People,
will.
That was a shift in my mindset also. Like, if the deal is good, I'm worried about how I'm going to get this money to do it. Now I get into something because that's a good thing. We can find the money to do it. EJ, got a question for him?
I do. How much money do you need as a down payment to get into a multifamily?
If it's your first-time home buyer, typically 3.5%. You know, but as we write those contracts, and you know it, I'm asking the seller to pay 3% of my closing costs.
Right.
I walk the property, and due to my level, my expertise, I'm going to find something wrong with it. And then I'm coming in with a rehab credit that I want. So as you're looking for deals, you know, as you know, we always looking in the wintertime. So I'm going to look at some properties today. In the MLS, it says clients need cash. You look at how many days it's been on the market.
Yeah.
Are you desperate?
Yeah,
You desperate?
Yeah. That's funny. You good. That's a good tip. Seasonality in real estate. That wintertime, right? Summertime, like you can't get any. Like, you can't get contractors. Definitely in the summertime, it's like everyone is booked up. But in the wintertime, when the weather hits and it gets more inclement in terms of the weather, that's a good time to be able to be on the hunt for deals. You know, think that's a good tip.
I love construction in the winter.
Yeah.
And renovating in the winter.
Why?
Because, I mean, to all of the points that you just made, you know, it's a little bit slower during that time, and then you can have a late winter, early springtime delivery, and that's the time when the market picks up and people are looking.
So you ready to go? You're, James, buying an investment property, is starting out, is it better to start, in your opinion, a single-family home or a multi-unit investment?
So you have reasons.
Right.
So, and I'll talk to the pros and cons of both.
Right.
Single-family homes, they're great investments because you can get a single-family home from anywhere from $50,000 to $100,000.
Right.
So if you do 3% of that, you're talking $1,500 to $3,000. You get in, you got an investment property. Right. The problem with that is the single-family homes, when they go vacant, your income goes down to zero. Now that home, unless you bought it for cash, it becomes a liability.
Right.
The multifamily is a little different to where it's always up and running. Right. So if I have a vacancy, it's not hurting me.
Right, because you got the other units to
right.
offset the cost.
It may take 50% for me just to hit my break-even point, and then it's never a liability. And the multifamilies, because I can raise the rents and I can bring down my expenses, that's when we get into that forced depreciation. And when you're starting to look at single families to 4 units, your building a home is only worth what your neighbor home is.
Right.
You can't force it.
Right.
You know, so it's difficult to leverage. You know, so I can force the appraiser hand to say, hey, my property is the best on the market. I sold a 12 unit and I didn't do any showings. I didn't post any pictures. I sent the finances. I said, this is the only property out here with a 17% cap rate.
Yeah.
You're going to buy it.
Right. Two things. One, my first property was a multi-unit, right? And then as I evolved, I started buying single families. What I discovered is pros and cons, the same thing you just said. Multi-units, first floor, second, let's say 4 unit. First floor, second floor, always easy rents. Basement, take a special kind of person live in the basement. Always have a nut living in the basement. It's always a special kind of person living in the basement. Top floor, difficult rent sometimes too because people don't want to walk up the stairs. Like I don't want to climb all the stairs. First and second floor, like that, go. Basement, top floor, boom. Single family, I find that the mindset is that of a homeowner. Single family, I give them the responsibility of landscaping. They're going to pay their own water. They're going to pay their own all the utilities. They're basically a owner without them actually owning the property. So just a tidbit to add to that from my experience. So I vacillate, and then also sometimes with the multi units, it's hard for me to you're trying to merge 3, 4, 5 different personalities. Somebody's single, other people older. Somebody's married with kids, somebody ain't got no kids. Somebody work day shifts, somebody work night shift. You're trying to put all that in to one, and it can be, but there you go. EJ, another question for him?
Yeah, so we talk about, the highs of being the landlord. What are some of your challenges with being the landlord property owner?
Challenges I have is changing the mindset and molding the people. So my hashtag that I use is Land Daddy. So you talk about tenants, it's like a family. So I force all these people to live under one roof. And if you have any problems, you're going to contact me. And I'm going to disperse the work out to the maintenance crew. So that would probably be the biggest challenge. The other challenge is getting my maintenance crew to work with my same aggressiveness.
Yeah.
And I'm telling them about being prompt. Like when we say we're going to be somewhere, we be there.
Be there, yeah.
We're going to take our shoes off, and then I'm going to do a follow-up phone call with the tenant to make sure that you did your job. So we have like this relationship.
Yeah.
But other than that, I screen, and I don't really have like any headaches.
Right.
So in 21 years, I probably received one phone call at night.
Right.
But I have a system in place. And I think the problem is a lot of people get in here and don't have a system, nor do they educate themselves and invest in themselves. And you have mentoring, you have coaching programs, and we treat it as if we should just buy a property but never invest back into ourselves.
Right.
There you go.
You get on a job, they sending you out to training, and they starting you off slow, and every year you're certifying and you're doing this training. But then as you become a landlord, you treat it as a hobby.
Right.
Like, this is a business.
Yep. So many different layers of this topic. We can kind of go on for hours, but time flies when you're having fun, so we got to wrap up. But, James, I want you to give our listening audience your information, and if they want to learn more about what you're doing as a buy and hold real estate investor,
and a coach.
What can they find you? And a coach, yeah. What can they find you?
I'm on landlordchronicles@gmail.com, Landlord Chronicles on Facebook, on Instagram at Mr. Morris, at Landlord Chronicles. The number 312-620-5740. I'll be out today looking at some multifamilies. I'll probably go live. I got 4 properties lined up from 12 to 3. So to kind of give people an idea of like how I look at it, how I walk through a property. I can walk a property in 10 minutes and on to the next one. You record it, and you just keep on moving.
Yeah, appreciate it. E-Jizzle.
Yes.
We got to get out of here. What can individuals find you? Tell us what's going on with you.
You can give me a call for all of your real estate needs, buying, selling, investing, coaching. My phone number is 773-340-9101. You can find me on social media on Instagram, ultimate_EJ, and also at Building Her Legacy Now.
You can also find her at the local pancake house around the corner from here, from the station.
I want a vegetarian skillet.
Yeah.
Pancakes, please.
EJ's the bomb, like for real. Like there's a reason why I hang out with EJ because he's phenomenal. So I encourage you to check her out. You can reach me if you want to set up some one-on-one business and real estate coaching sessions. I got a lot of individuals trying to get their planning together for 2020 and beyond. I'm excited. One person reached out and said, "I'm scared to death. But I know I can do it." Don't be scared. Everyone started somewhere, man. Right. All of us started from a perspective where we knew little or nothing about what it is we're getting into, but we did it. And I got a news flash for you. No matter how articulate James sounds, myself or EJ, nobody knows everything about real estate. Right? It's always something to learn. So I encourage you, get the ball rolling. So go out to www.curtisrmonday.com. Schedule that one-on-one session. Let's get together and let's talk about it. Keep it locked. EJ going to eat. James got properties to look at. I got to stay here. I got the Urban Business Roundtable coming up. We got some great information for you. We got the Illinois State Treasurer. He's going to be one of our guests today. So we appreciate you. We got to go. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.